Black Cat Lounge is sponsored by Beacon, a home for those who have a passion for filmmaking and the unusual. The Haunted Hiddensdale House. Those who walk there do not walk alone. Paraware, apparel for the action-seeking paranormal investigator. Dragonfly art and soul for all of your magical, metaphysical, and spiritual needs. Mystery Control, your go-to feed for science, magic, true crime, the paranormal, and so much more. Para-Niagara, one of the top-rated destinations in Western New York. The Black Cat Lounge is part of the Paraflix Entertainment Network. Hey, welcome everybody. It's Tuesday night. Where else would you be? I'll tell you where you'd be. You'd be at the corner store buying cheap beer or liquor, and you'd be face down in the gutter in 15 minutes. So I'm here to save you. I'm here, yes, Brother Tim's saving you from all this terribleness. Because why? You're here at the Black Cat Lounge, where the elite meet next to the dumpster transfer station. Where else would you be? Where else would you be? Thank you guys for coming in today. We've got a fantastic show. We really got a fantastic show. I have been excited about this all day. All day. I've had happy feet. I went to the gym, got happy feet now. And I got to tell everybody that this is amazing because why? I have a special guest. I have a special guest that I have known for like way too many years. And, I think about it now. And I'm like, hey, Kenny, how are you doing? Jason, brother, how are you? Good to see you. Fred, always good to see you too, buddy. Thank you for stopping by. I have known this guest for so long, and I love her to death, and she is fantastic. Fellow retiree, Deborah is here. Congratulations. And one more person we have to go and we have to mention, John the Legend Kennedy from way up north in Michigan. Well, anyway, back in the early days, back when I had hair. No, I never had hair. What am I talking about? Back in the days, well, my beard might have been a little bit darker. But these two crazy brothers from Kentucky, they went and they said, Tim, we want you to be a voice on the old Para X radio network. And yours truly was like, are you out of your mind? Nobody wants to hear me prattle on like an old washerwoman. Come on now. We all know that. Well, they convinced me. And this lady is one of the real influences that I had back then. Taught me so much about radio. Taught me so much about podcasting. Taught me so much about a lot of things. And I got to say that it's going to be an amazing night. And just to let everybody know, before we go and get a little bit too deep into this, you all know that we're on the Paraflix Entertainment Network, but also right now, all of our encores, I forgot over 300 encores, audio encores are on the resurrected Para X radio network. And I am so proud that they wanted them and they took them, and they're playing them now. So if you guys ever want to go to www.para-x.com, you'll hear some there. So guys, anyway, let me go. And I wish I had my karaoke mic to be able to go and announce my guest coming in today. So here we go. Listen, I had to write this down because she is an accomplished guest. She is so accomplished. You know what? I should be wearing shades. She's so bright. She's illuminating. That's the way we're going to go and say this. Anyway, tonight's guest is someone who I am sure many of you guys know and love. We've been she and I were a team off and on at Para X for many, many years. I was the lead-in show for her, and her show, of course, is still called Stirring the Cauldron, and it's been on about 25 years, and it's amazing. Every episode is amazing. And of course, we did a rather edgy show, sex magic, stuff like that, called The Reverend Witch Show. Along with being on Para X, we were both part of the CBS family of Sky Network programming that was heard on terrestrial markets. We were in some big markets. She and I were in some crazy markets. Now, along with being a media personality, our guest tonight is an entertainment journalist, has written several cookbooks, which I love the Jewish cookbook that she has written. It's fantastic. She has all these. I have to abbreviate, or I have to send an abridged version of all of her books. She has written such titles as the Ghost of Hollywood series, which is phenomenal. Workplace Spells, which is phenomenal. Animal Spells and Magic, which is phenomenal. A Bad Case of the Cobblewobbles, among so many others. And she has designed the deck, which is Oracle, which I still use for the majority of my card reading. I love it. It's really good. Presently, on top of all of that, she can be heard as a co-host on Ghost Chronicles, the Book of Shadows with Ron Kolek. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, may I say, I have to introduce someone who is near and dear to my heart. Actually, my little sister from the West Coast, Marla Brooks. Mar, how you doing there, kiddo?
I'm laughing, I'm giggling, and yeah, hi. Oh, by the way, we're in the Black Cat Lounge, right?
Yes, we are.
Where's my tip jar?
Let me explain to the crazy people out there. Once upon a time, when we were audio, we used to have background noise, and the background noise was a bar. So we were doing an interview, and it sounded like a bar. We had to get rid of that because people wanted to come to the bar, the imaginary bar, to watch tapings. But anyway, my little sister, who is not very tall in stature,
Watch it.
she we used to tend bar at the Black Cat Lounge, and we used to have a ramp for her so she could go and serve people because she was so short. But back then she had a beehive hairdo, so she used to be about 4'9", 5 foot, and then with the beehive hairdo, you were about 6'7", 6'8", I mean something like that. And then of course, she used to have those platform spiked heel white go-go boots that she used to wear. So we are going and we are saying a lot of family secrets that only we knew back then, but all of you know. But yes, and she was the number one barmaid at the Black Cat Lounge, and so many people loved her. And that's it's so fun. It's so funny because every so often somebody will say, "Gee, can't we get a drink from Marla anymore?" And her favorite tagline was, "Belly up to the bar, boys." I still remember that. I got it there. I got it. It's in the archives.
You're not that old now. You still have a memory.
I might be old, but
the money.
and for years, I knew that she was a crazy witch. I used to call her something else, but witch was close enough. And she finally got me to admit that I was out of the broom closet. And
it wasn't easy.
And here's my poor wife going, "Stop picking on my sister-in-law." But now, I mean, let's face it. I mean, Marla, sometimes we all have. What was the time? What convinced you that I might know a little bit more about the craft than most people suspect at the time? And we're going back about 20, 25 years.
Yeah, the mirror spell.
Well,
The vanishing mirror spell.
it happens. Sometimes this stuff just flows out. What can I tell you?
Yeah, you read it in the newspaper, right?
I think it was. I think it was. It might have been. It might have been on one of those other crazy TV shows or something. But well, let's talk.
Pinocchio is getting
Oh,
bigger. Yeah. Mhm.
don't believe her. Don't believe her. Anyway, listen, guys. I got to ask you, Mar, because a lot of people, you're fresh out here, and on this side of the track,
And I
and
keep going like this and this. Yeah.
we're all listen. I'm the same way. I'm back and forth all the time. People get dizzy. Now, Marla, I got to ask you, because for people that are just meeting you for the very, very first time,
Okay.
what drives you to be so prolific as an author? Because you are really, and you know what? I'm going to be totally honest with you.
Mm.
I read a lot of books, and I get sent a lot of books and PDF files and that sort of thing. I'm going to tell you what, your writing is phenomenal. And just by the way, guys, one of my books, The C2D1 Haunting, that I wrote back a few years ago, Marla actually went and did all the editing on that book. So,
Forgot about
yeah, she did. Yeah, I remember you did all that editing, and that was a crash course in stress. But Mar, what is
it.
it?
Yeah.
Why are you so prolific? What keeps you going? Now, again, you're just not a paranormal writer. You are also with cookbooks and entertainment and all sorts of stuff. And if you look at her elbows, she rubs elbows with some Hollywood elites. So, uh, what keeps you going?
Okay. That sounds good. No, writers are writers. We have to keep writing. And you know that too. It's something you do,
Yep.
and with the first 5 books with Schiffer, they wanted one, and the Ghosts of Hollywood. And then they said, "Oh, we need another one, another one." You keep going on that one. And then they wanted a spell book, and then they wanted another spell book, and then they wanted it goes. So it keeps me out of mischief.
Mischief. See,
And you, well,
everybody right now is going and saying nothing keeps Tim out of mischief. His little sister has got to be 10 times worse.
I learned from you. No, 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 no.
Oh yes, oh yes. Now you know what, you have interviewed, I would say, the elite of the occult
Yeah,
world. I mean, really. I mean, when we look at the bulk and body of your work, there are like so many people that, and I always say right now, you and I were very, very blessed and very fortunate because we were able to go and really be able to have and meet and interview so many of the movers and shakers going,
yeah.
I mean, my God, I mean, how many, I mean, out of all of them, I know I have my favorites. Out of all the people that you've interviewed, who would you say your favorite one or the one that most surprised you?
Surprised me. John Zaffis surprised me, but that was your
John Zappis surprises a lot of people.
No, no, no. You made it happen. Yeah, but well, that might be for another time because it's not bad. But
Listen,
yeah,
okay, just to let you guys know, we're, anyway, I
set
told
me up.
Marla, I told Marla to ask John Zaffis about a leather banana hammock. And I'm sure those of you who are in that state of mind will know what a leather banana hammock is. And my little sister didn't. But boy, John Zaffis sure did.
He got a kick out of it. Yeah, it was right. I was supposed to do a thing with him. With Dave Jones was off, so I was doing it with John, and I didn't know John, and I was afraid of John because he was, John. And so I asked you, how is he working, and is he easygoing and blah blah blah. And then he brought up the banana thing, And right before the show, I said, "Oh, how's your banana?" Whatever it was. And he burst out into laughing so loud. And all of a sudden, the light bulb went over my head. And oh my God, it was terribly funny.
Well,
But I was, oh God.
that's all part of it. That's all part of it. Sometimes,
Now he calls
sometimes
me nothing but witchy poo.
well,
He
witchy
doesn't
poo
even,
is right.
yeah,
For,
yeah.
but not that I would be anything like that, but you are. Listen, I want
Go
to
ahead.
ask you about your latest book, and I do have a copy of it. Let me show you a photo of it. Let me just dig it out here. This is your latest book, is
Oh,
it not?
yeah.
Magic for All Seasons, a Grismore for the Wheel of the Year. Now, what what led you to write this book? This is pretty interesting. I've got of course I've got the PDF file of it, and I find it very very informative. Even though I'm not that I know much about any of that magic stuff, but what what was it that really led you to write this book?
It didn't start too big. I was doing something with Schiffer, and was, I don't even remember what it was, but it was something about Samhain and our, yeah. And all of a sudden they said, well, we don't want it quite like that, but could you do like a grimoire? And I mean, they didn't, but Weiser did. And they changed it up. And so I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do now? And it just kind of went. It kind of went. And it was by, not mistaken, but it wasn't something that I planned. Let's put it
Well,
that way.
now, but for those of everyone out there who may not know what a grimoire is, not that, let's see, that I would know what one is. That
No,
just
no,
be happy it just happens to be on my desk today. Uh,
just
but every
happened to be there.
it
Yes.
just happened
Yeah.
to be on my desk.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, tell everybody what that is.
It's, I think I called it, it's a farmer's almanac for people and one for pagan because it has tons of different information in there. I mean, it's got uh, spells. I did I think it was 102 spells in that book. You did recipes. We've got how to do things. I mean, it's just, and of every of the Sabbath, we talk about each one too.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's just so full of stuff. I can't even remember it all the time
Well,
because it just,
what I thought was cool about it, what I really thought it was cool about it, was the fact that you reference somebody that you used to talk about, Grandma Sophie, great Grandma Sophie.
great grandma Sophie. Yeah.
Tell everybody who that was, because you know what, so much of what we are, uh, we're writing about people like you and I. We're trying to
Hmm.
save this knowledge
Yeah.
that's disappearing, and
Yeah.
it seems like a lot of the generations don't care anymore. So
No.
who is great Grandma Sophie, and what
Yeah.
kind of an influence was she on you?
Well, I never knew her. She died when my mother was 7 years old, but she was the witch in her town in Russia, and she was a witch. And I knew that when I was a little kid, but nobody wanted to talk to me about it because it was like, no, no, don't listen to the kid. But for some reason, I started putting two and two together, and so I started thinking, well, maybe I could be a witch too if great grandma was one. And so I started learning a little bit here, a little bit there. But the funny part, it just recently I figured something out because when she died, she wanted to pass her stuff down to one of her daughters, and the daughter didn't want any part of it. So whatever she had it, she took it to the grave. So even if she had a grimoire, it wouldn't have been done any good. Um, all of a sudden, got to thinking that the daughter was named Manya.
Hmm.
And Manya in in English is Marla. And so maybe it just kind of skipped a couple of generations. And so, kind of to the book, I'm kind of do it in her honor because, maybe what she didn't do, maybe I can help, you know. And yeah, and then, I got to read this. Well, I'll tell you. The people in the front of the book, they get those reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And like Jason Miller did, a whole bunch of people that we know. But they didn't know about it. But every time they did in the review, they said more about Grandma Sophie than anything else. And so, and at the end of the thing, when I was talking about her, I just said, anybody that reads the book, and if you feel like somebody's behind you, reading over your shoulder, it just could be Grandma Sophie and, settling to say hi. So she kind of just, boop, she's all over my book.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That's the one thing when I was going through the book, I kept picking out that name, and I thought that was phenomenal. Now, you cover all sorts of subjects in it. That's like, you know what? This book, I want to bring it back up again so people see it. First of all, it's a really pretty looking book right there.
That's nice. Yeah, they did
This
a good
is
job.
they did a great job. They did a great job on the cover. This book is not just well, I cast this on the evil eye on this so and so. This book is like, it's almost like a Buckland book. If anybody that has gone out and has read any of the late Raymond Buckland books, a lot of times it's just not, what you think it is. There's so much more that encompasses it. He wrote a book called Solitary Seance years ago.
Yeah, I remember
That he went and he taught the classes, and it was wonderful because it gave you an overview of everything. This book, when it comes to craft, not just a Wiccan religion perspective, not just a pagan religion, not just a druid, if I knew what those things were, but anyway, it gives a general overview, and that's what I think is so important about this book, and I loved it. And you know what? I was so honored when you asked me to write just a little snippet of just a couple lines about a form of divination. And,
Yeah, that's how it started. But then it blew up really well. So, it was the history of scrying and, but every time I do a book that you can get in, you were in the animal
yeah, that's
spell.
right. Yep,
What
that's
did you
right.
do?
I did animal Reiki,
Yeah.
animal healing. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That was fun though. That was a fun, and my late dog Ebony. She was my she was my client. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I was able to go and I was able to work with her. But that's fun. But these are the fun things. These are things that I think are for me. I love being able to share that information because most of the time, I don't get a chance to do that, and that's what I really kind of wish that I would do more of again.
That was comprehensive. I mean, really, you did a really good job.
Well,
And
hey, it was my little sister. Are you kidding me or what?
What?
I better not. Listen. You don't fool around with my little sister because she'll hex your ass in a minute. Well, not even a minute. Not even a minute. I know better than that. I know better. Anyway,
I'm not even going to say that. Okay, I'm going to say that. I saw him one do it working at something, and we were on Skype, and he was doing this spell. Scared the hell out of me, and I don't scare easily. He was like, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, oh my God. So you get the challenge on that one.
Oh well, not that I know that much about this stuff. I mean, when I depart this world, my friend Frank Roberts, who is in the room tonight, will actually probably get possession of this, and maybe Maybe if he's good. He wants my Grismore, my chest of ingredients, and a couple cooking oils that I use.
Yeah, yeah.
You know how it is.
Your halo goes choot. Anyway,
There's no Halo, kid.
I
That Halo's long
was trying
gone.
to be nice. I was trying to be nice. I'm
I
sorry.
I went by a church the other day, and the lights were flickering. So it's like,
Yeah.
no, those days are gone. That ship has sailed. But now, Marla, what was your favorite part of writing this book? Because I think as someone who is reading it, somebody who reads this book, I mean, I think right from chapter one right to the very end. I think it's so inspirational. I think it's so interesting. I love, like I say, I love the little recipes. I love all that stuff that you put in there.
Yeah,
What was your
it's fun.
favorite part about writing it?
I think the spells, because they're really difficult to do because I do them in rhyme,
Right.
and they're I could take an hour or two or a day to get one, but it's fun when you get through. That's fun. And as a writer, I love the research. That some people hate it, but I love it because I'm learning everything that I didn't learn, and that's my path to share.
Well,
You
here's something I also want to share with a lot of people. Uh, there are thousands of witchcraft books out there, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of different spells out there. And Pinterest, please don't be a Pinterest witch, but create your own. Anyway, uh, the one thing that I have learned about Marla is the fact that when she creates a spell, she actually works with it, and she wants to see if it actually works. She wants to see if there is an effect.
Yeah, you have
And
to.
that's why her books are next to none. And that's why her books, in my bookcase, are right next to,
Judith's
people.
5,000 books.
Oh, well, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
Judith is Judith Isles is she's prolific. She's
it's amazing.
when it comes to spell work.
Yeah.
But I mean, your books are right up there with Scott Cunningham's and Buckland's, and
Well,
and the classics, and that's what I think is so great about it. Now, you know what? I want to switch gears a little bit. Tell me a little bit about Stirring the Cauldron.
Stirring the cauldron, so much fun. And for a while, well, how many years did you produce it? Think about that.
Over a decade, wasn't it? Probably over a decade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you were there and then jumped after your thing. You have to be my
Oh,
producer.
I Marla, I remember saying, where the elite meet next to the dumpster transfer station. We'll see you next week. Boom! I would be contacting the guest, bringing the guest on before my show. The outro was over. I was pinning yours in with two commercials and then starting your intro, and you guys were ready to go. I remember that.
Uh-huh.
It was so funny. Now it's a whole different ball game, but back then that's what we had to do. It was a
Yeah.
it was a race to the finish. That's what it
Your bird,
was.
your yeah, your bread, bread. Yeah, your
Oh my
bird
God.
and your
Yes.
whatever. Your big on your shoulder. It wasn't like that. It was kind of darker, you
I think
know.
it was. I think it was. Now, speaking about Para X, let's talk about Para X.
Yeah,
I'm going to bring on somebody that is really the guy. I'm seriously impressed by this gentleman.
yeah.
He is like, I have to go and I have to read his intro because he's just amazing. He's the host of the renowned Ghost Chronicles. This man, in my estimation, is one of the leading paranormal investigators in the United States. Hands down, hands down. He is one of the unsung heroes. Just being able to hang with him, to talk with him, is a true honor. Also, I mean, uh, what I love about him is he goes and he incorporates the old ways, the new ways, incorporates it all into one. he is he does things like red light seances, which is crazy. Nobody does red light seances anymore, but he does them on a regular basis. And I think we lost him. He fell. I think he fell off the earth. But anyway, he is what I consider the modern incarnation of Van Helsing. And when he comes back, we're going to bring him back on. But I want to talk a little bit about Para X. Now, Para X was created by two crazy brothers from Kentucky, Tom and Dave Jones, and they were just innovators. And what was amazing with them was they gave us airtime literally for free.
Yeah.
And their whole idea was they wanted to go and they wanted to push live internet radio. And they gave so many people starts. They gave so many. I mean, I think about it now, all the people that we were able to bring on the show that really, they became megastars. And I mean, let's talk about, let's say, the Booth brothers and producers and other people like that. They were amazing. Now, what I thought was sad was, of course, I mean, Tommy eventually passed. He passed away, unfortunately, and Dave was running it by himself. And as in all businesses, it runs its course. So he ended up selling it, and the new owners, they did all right, and they kept it going until they got tired. And then when did it stop? When did it cease to broadcast?
No, because Ron made sure it didn't. I mean, for about a week or something, but it was July 31st was the last day. So
right.
And then Ron just managed to get us and trying to figure out what to do, and he wanted to get it going, and he did. I mean, amazingly quickly, because some people, because he had to start from scratch. When Dave passed it over to the other one, he gave them all the stuff.
Right.
They gave him nobody. Really, yeah.
Ron had to go and really rebuild.
Learn really quick and rebuild. Yeah.
So what are we? So what is Para X running now? Now they don't have live shows, correct? They right now at this point, but they are eventually going to go that way.
Very soon, very soon. He's trying out, and we did a couple of tests already, and yeah, it's going to be sooner than later.
Good.
So, but at night, every night from 7 to midnight, we're running your stuff and some of my stuff and some of his stuff and, the archive stuff. And then he made the other day a library. So you click on it and there's a whole bunch of things that you can do at your own leisure.
Well, it's so funny because I've sent you quite a few archive shows. I've just sent him some archive shows. As I'm going through them, I'm going, this one's dead. This one's dead.
Yeah.
This one's dead. I'm going, oh no. Oh,
I had Kingston. I had Isaac
Bonowitz.
Yeah, I had him. I mean, you listen to these people now, and it was funny because this wasn't a friend of Bruce Tango's friend was the little guy that played in the Addams Family as Cousin It and whatever. And I had him on my show,
Wow.
And I mean, and it wasn't it wasn't paranormal, but it was really good, to talk to somebody like that, I mean, because I used to do a lot of celebrity interviews anyway, so I'd put them on the show. And then like Bernie Capel from Love Boat, I brought him on because he did have something happen to him. So, that's kind of a neat thing, and we can do whatever we want, and they're really interesting.
Well, you know what I love about it now is because I can look back and I can listen to these shows, and I forgot half the people that I had on the show. I've got, I don't know, like 300 archive shows,
Yeah,
and I just sent up to Ron the Constantinos,
yeah,
my episode with the Constantinos, and they it was their demise was very tragic, and it's very very sad, but uh, they were one of the very first EVP special. We'll just go specialists
yeah.
that we were able to go and learn from, and they were kind of amazing. The stuff that they came in, they brought in the stuff that they would work with. That's on there, and I'll never forget the late Raymond Buckland. Out of
Yeah,
respect, out of respect, I said, Ray, I'm going to go and. Oh, I think is he here? Wait a minute, we got him. We got him.
Hey!
Van Helsing, how are you, buddy? How are you, Ron?
You're really asking after all this.
Yes,
You realize I'm doing this on one of those freaking smartphones, right?
I figured that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the immortal Van Helsing. This is Ron Kolek. He is of Ghost Chronicle. I can't say it out loud. Ghost Chronicles, and I have and again, Ron. I told everybody, it's an honor to talk to you because you are one of the last of the true adventurers out there when it comes to paranormal investigations, because you use everything. You use new stuff, you use old stuff, you still do the red light seances. I mean, I am impressed so much by you. And what possessed you? I got to ask you. I want to ask you. We were talking. Marla and I were talking about Parax. What possessed you to resurrect Parax? Because as we know, it was sort of downtrodden and kind of a little bit forgotten, and it wasn't really being pushed. What brought you? What did Marla send a spell? Did she send an imp towards you that went and said, you know what? I think there's possibility still with Parax.
No, he did it all his own.
She didn't send no spell because I have Van Helsing's special spray, and that protects me from everything, so I don't have to worry about that. So, do you like my Max Headroom thing going on here?
It looks good. It looks good.
A talking head.
But yeah, remember my Max Headroom?
We're showing our age.
Talk about that?
We're showing our age, Ron.
I don't care. That was cool. I mean, that's the same thing about Parax. Parax, when I first got into paranormal, and I was on, this is my 21st year on radio.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, because my voice sucks, but that's besides the point. And I was, I guess, wooed by a internet radio station that was, brand new internet. This is like, wow, you can talk to people all over the world. It's like, this is so cool. And when I got involved, there was like only one internet radio station on the paranormal, and that was Parax.
Right.
And it was awesome. And the reason it was awesome is that it just didn't give you one point of view. You can go on, everybody and their mother and brother has got a podcast now, and they're out there and they're doing it on their own channels. So, you go in to one place and you're only getting one point of view. You're only seeing this person. You're not really seeing the whole picture. So Pararex has always been that place you could go to, whatever you wanted to find. Bigfoot, UFOs, who knows? Marla.
It's so true. Now, let me ask you this, because Marla and I were talking. Eventually, you guys are going to go back into live shows, but will you also go and accept podcasts too, along with it?
Yes. See, that's the other thing. When you were, when Pararex was around in the beginning, it was strictly streaming. And,
right.
That was the thing. Podcasts really weren't a thing back then. So, when podcasts came along and people said, well, I can do this thing. I don't need to go to a radio show, which, by the way, people don't realize this, but Dave and his brother, they didn't charge people for this.
Nope.
No, they just wanted to get the thing out there. But everybody's like, oh, I'm going to have my own channel. I just want my stuff, and I'll do podcasts or I'll do live stream it, and it's good. Like your show right now, you and the three of us are sitting here, and you're in front of something or other, and Marla's in bed, and I'm a floating head. So I mean, if you want to watch that for an hour, no offense, you can. Some people do; they like it. But a podcast, you can listen whenever you want, whenever you want.
Exactly.
A stream, you can do other stuff and still listen. So they each have their own niche. And one of the other things we're going to do is video broadcasting as well. That was one of our hopes for the future. So it's going to be a multi-layered platform, and it's going to be for everyone. That's what I'm hoping for.
Now, what are you looking for content? If somebody wants to go and say, "Hey, listen, I'm interested in X, Y, and Z," what would you recommend for content that you would want to see?
I want to see everything. I want all points of view. And as far as getting new shows on, I'll listen to anything. And if you come on and nobody's listening, okay, I'm sorry. We tried, but somebody else wants to come in, that's fine too. So I don't care how batshit crazy you are. Come on in. We'll accept you.
That's I like that. I like that. Just
Oh, the devil.
Ron the Devil's here.
Look at that.
We got all kinds of stuff going on here. My computer just went out, and now I have that's my Himalayan salt lamp there doing its thing. I'll change colors.
Very healthy.
That's
See?
funny. That's funny.
I was green. I was just a witch.
So never. No. We'll talk. We'll talk about Marla and Green later on, but that's another story. You know what?
Never mind.
Oh, hey, witches are portrayed green. Okay, witches portray themselves as these sexy little things, flying with garter belts and stockings and all kinds of things. And everybody's got their own little picture of what a witch is. But
yeah, look here. Look who's over right here. Where is he? Right there.
Yeah,
he's a witch.
But everybody's. I used to, when I first was part of the Festival of Dead in Salem, when they asked me to do the spectral evidence down there, and I met witches for my first time in my life. I'm a good old Catholic boy, and I still am. I'm a member of Knights of Columbus, and very active in church. But so like meeting a witch, that was like something cool, and it's like, oh, that's and I've always been open, so to say, people are still people no matter what. And that's when I met Leanne Marana, and she's always called herself the soccer mom witch. And I said, yeah, that's exactly what they are. They're just people with different religions, basically, or different beliefs, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. Yeah. And that, I think too many people go and they follow the old Hollywood and all that negativity and the big bad witch and a lot of it that of course, it was, if you go back down to the persecution, the years of an age of persecution, you start seeing things like of that nature, unfortunately, and that sticks around. But where it's Christianity, and it's the old ways, and we know that Gardner went and found all those pockets all through England and the Isles there, and of course, we know Buckland brought some traditions here to the U.S., and a lot of the Wiccan religions are based on his stuff. It's just a different way of looking at it, and that's the way I really enjoyed it. And I'll tell you the truth, even the spiritualists, when I started reading, when I started doing the research on the early spiritualists, they sure ain't like the spiritualists of today. Let me tell you. They, you start looking at the old ways, you start seeing a lot of this stuff that's stripped down, and it's not been, I would say not quite accepted. And then you got the New Age that comes in, and the New Age absorbs everything.
Yeah,
So
but everyone's different, though. I mean, you look at like my good friend Stephen Scott. He's a spiritualist medium from the UK. Now he went into the spiritualist program and had to do all that stuff that they do and everything else. But they have a strict creed themselves, and you can't stray from. There's certain things you weren't allowed to do in that thing. But now there are other people that call themselves spiritualists, and they're totally different from that, or they don't really belong to that same nationalist church that they originally was,
right.
out of. Yeah.
Well, I belong to I was a card carrying member of the National Spirits Association of Churches, and you
Right.
couldn't use anything
Yeah.
except for if you did seance, that was the only type of tools that you could use. Anything else was no. That was a no. But the problem is that's not something that was decreed spiritually. That was decreed by man because of the great age of fraud that we all accepted and we all went through. And like I think I've told Marla time and time again, the church that I used to belong to was built by spiritualists in 1911, and they thought that the light socket was shot on the porch because it hasn't been lit since 1960, and the electrician came in, changed the light socket or changed the light bulb, and it was just a light bulb that had blown out. What happened was nobody, they used to have their services on Wednesday nights, and nobody wanted to be seen walking into the church. That was why they didn't do it. And then they also had a rear entrance. So many people would go into the basement and then come up into the sacristy rather than go through the front door. So, I can understand why they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to go and push for anything fake. But on the other hand, being able to use it as part of their dogma, I think was wrong. Was wrong because there's no right or wrong way to do magic, no right or wrong way to do spiritualism, no right or wrong way to do Catholicism or any of the other Christian religions.
Ghost hunting.
Ghost hunting is probably the most opinionated field out there, and everybody has an opinion, and everybody hates the other person's opinion, except the three of us, because the three of us sit there and go, I don't know. Maybe it happens. They might be right.
Open minds. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Marla, go ahead.
No, I was just saying open minds. We all have open minds, but not enough people.
What's the old saying? A mind is like a parachute. It's no good unless you open it.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Because I'll tell you the truth. There's a lot of things that I don't understand. And there's a lot of things that don't make sense to me. But I'm not going to go and say, no, you can't do that. I want to see the results. Let's see the results. I've been only trained in like one or two ways. Let's see what other people have. And I'll tell you, the more that I'm out at the conferences, the more amazing people that I've networked with. And these people are borderline geniuses. And they come up with some stuff that's amazing. Just amazing. Well, just like you, Ron, you're always out there with the red light seances. You're pushing that. You work with it.
Yeah, 14, 15 years now. I don't do it because necessarily that I believe in it. I do it because I want to understand it. And that's how I got involved in everything I've done in the metaphysical world is everything. If I'm going to, even though I might not believe in it when I first go in, I've got to at least try to understand it. And to me, the early spiritualists and their physical mediumship is intriguing to me. It intrigues the hell out of me. And that's what we try to study in the red light seance.
Right.
And, yeah, that's what I want to learn about. How much was this? Because unfortunately, like, ghost hunting today, there's a lot of fakery. I guess you could say fakery, but
fakery is the best, is one of the most polite terms that you can use. Frauds. There's just so many frauds out there.
Yeah.
And TV, and let's face it, TV, and I was part of that reality whole thing for a while. TV is really taking the ball and ran with it. So, that's part of it. But that's exactly it. And red lights, and so many people don't have a clue what seances seances were originally made for. Manifesting. That's exactly what it was. Manifesting physical phenomena. And of course, we do remember the uh Halloween seances that I had to stop doing, was it, Miss Marla?
On the air, yes, we did two seances, and that was kind of, nobody had done that before. You went
Yep.
into trance, and he says, well, I'll give you a safe word. And, and I'm thinking, well, God, who's going to come through? And then something came through, but that was really bad. And yeah, I thought I was talking to Lucifer. I swear to God, I didn't. I was afraid to say anything because I was
Oh,
going to get a boogaboo. And then, yeah, we should put that on
we'll have to
the
dig those
Halloween.
out. We'll have to dig those out. I'm not.
Yeah.
I have one of them.
I'll have to look to see which ones if I have them, because I lost a lot some of them in the cloud. But
And the great
listen,
Klasman, the great, was that Charism,
oh,
whatever.
Kresge.
No, it's the great, whatever. Forget it.
You're
I mean,
laughing
I destroy words anyways. Like I said, I don't delete. I've been on the radio for 21 years.
Well,
I make my own words up as I go along. So,
listen, we're getting to the end of the show.
okay.
Ron, tell everybody about Para X, where it's going, what's going on, and how they can go and jump on.
Yeah, okay. Parax Radio, it's something that it's really getting to be dear to my heart. Uh-oh. What did I got? Oh, Parax is up there. That's what it is. Anyways, so yeah, go to Parax, what is it? P-R-A-A -X.com, and jump on, take a look at it. You can message us. If you have a show, no matter what's about, whether it's true crime or Bigfoot or UFOs or conspiracy theories, we want to hear them all. We want to put more opinions out there and let people make up their own minds. So years and years ago, I had a reality TV show before anyone else did in the country, and it was on a local station here, not a access station, but a big station. I was in TV Guide, so that gives you the idea. And the thing at the very end of it, it was, we would do our investigation, and then we said, it was kind of like, make up your own mind is what we said at the end, basically. And that's kind of what Pararex is going to be. We'll offer you content, points of view. You take and choose what you want. So that's what Pararex, and we want you. We want your content, and we'll, put you in with the rest of them.
Perfect. And Marla?
Yeah. What?
Tell everybody where we can get this fabulous fab book by my fab little sister.
Oh, you're saying that because you're in it.
That too.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, everywhere. It'll be out September 2nd.
Don't forget my wife's recipes in there too.
That's right. Yeah. Yes. Saint Jan. And I put a recipe in there. And it's a good one. So, yeah, I got to send you a book.
And Miss Marla, little sister, how can people get a hold of you? Find out what's going on in the crazy world of Marla Brooks.
MarlaBrooks.com and Stirring the Cauldron on Para X. I'm all over the place. Just Google me. Oh, no, that'd be afraid. But yeah.
That sounds like something Mae West would say, but that's another story.
Yeah, you like
that.
Tim, I want to thank you, by the way, for having me on. And I've enjoyed, the one thing I've enjoyed about it is your voice. It's very calming. It's very down to earth, and it's a great voice for radio. So keep it up.
It's you know what, Ron? I just said earlier, I had gone and I had been listening going through some archive shows for you, get rid of what I had to get rid of and resave them. And my voice was so much better back then. And I think to myself, oh my God, my voice is ruined. But it's still hanging in there. And believe me, coming from you, that's high praise, kiddo. That's super high praise.
It's a comforting voice. People like, okay, this is my uncle, this is my brother, this is my mate. You feel comfortable with you. That's what your voice is.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Van Helsing, I may be doing a exclusive live or exclusive podcast, just audio for Para X in the future once everything is getting rolling. So just let you know that I got a couple plans in the works.
That's awesome. And honest, Tim, you were one of the original shows on there. You would be, we want those people as well.
That's an honor. That's an honor. I appreciate that.
And the nice thing is too, it's also a tribute to Dave and his brother for and that's I've re-brought the old logo back for our app, so that's that's a tribute to them. And
I love that. And you know what? If without them, I just be that bald guy working in churches. That's what I would be. So because of them, I went far. Well,
it was hard
10 miles. I went 10 miles from the house, so that's good enough.
Well, it's Buffalo. What do you want?
10 miles from the house, we don't want to even talk about there, but that's another story. Anyway, guys, stay on the line. I want to thank you properly, and I'm just going to do my outro. Be good. Thank you, Ron, for stopping by. Marla, my little sister, be good. Make sure you polish those go-go boots up. We'll talk in a little bit. Guys, I love these two. They're fantastic. My little sister, buy her book. It's phenomenal. It's one of the best books you'll ever find. It's right up there with some of the classics, like we talked before, and I know that you guys will enjoy them. And Ron please support Para X. Audio podcasts are great. I actually do subscribe to a couple of them, and I'm on their Patreon to support them. So, guys, work with them and support really meaningful shows, and you'll learn something along the way, and you'll be able to go and you'll be able to tap into them anywhere, anytime. And some of my newer shows, since when we brought this show back from during COVID, we'll be doing those, and we'll be uploading those in a little bit. So guys, be good, be kind, and you're listening to the Black Cat Lounge here. Where else? Where the elite meet next to the dumpster transfer station. Ciao, babies. Be good.